Hey guys, so I wanted to showcase my friend Doug, who has been absolutely killing it with chess lately. He went from playing, okay chess for a beginner to absolutely killing it just by following opening principles. So we sat on a call where it's the first time I tried using the live analysis board on chess.com. So it was pretty cool. So you can see the arrows and all that kind of stuff. And but we were just going over a few of his games, his wins, his losses, his just his weaknesses and things he was missing, and just really basic principles that he just for whatever reason wasn't grasping. And after the call, I'm thinking, okay, well, I hope it works. And you know how when you get bombarded with information, you're thinking like, there's no way he's going to absorb it all. And then the next day, we play a few games, and he's playing a million times better. It's like he absorbed everything, listened to it. I'm like, holy crap, he's really getting it. So then he goes on to play his own games, random people just and taking my advice, slowing down because he was playing like 5 minute, 3 minute blitz, like, all the time and not seeing improvement. So slow it down, go to at least down to 10 minute. Because you're not taking time to calculate anything, and it's making for a lot of blunders. I'd like a slower time control if possible, but like at least do 10 minutes. So that's what he does. He plays some 10 minute. And out of playing 17 games, I think it was yesterday, he wins 15 out of 17 games, and even his losses weren't that bad. I mean, they're minor mistakes, but still. So Doug, awesome job, absolutely killing it. So let's showcase one of your games here. I really like how this game went. It was pretty neat. So his opponent starts with e4. Actually, I'm going to flip this. I don't like how this is. I'm gonna keep white on the bottom. All right, so opponent starts with e4. All right, Doug is playing with the black pieces, and he responds with e5. All right, we have knight c3, knight c6. All right, so this is called the Van Geet. Didn't even really know that before. This is not something I would particularly ever play. It's kind of just like a reverse Petrov. So usually in the Petrov, the knights are over here. It's like an e4, e5 opening. But anyway, so knight f6. All right, and it looks like we're getting into a 4 knights game, but now so Doug comes in, just putting pressure on this knight here, bringing the bishop out, getting developed. I noticed right away, all right, the queen side's emptying out, so it looks like a potential queen side castle is in the air. So that's what I would think initially. So let's see what happens. All right, so we got pressure on the c7 pawn right away. With the bishop, it looks like white and black are kind of dumping out their queen side, both potentially looking at a queen side castles. So let's see what happens. All right, and then we bring the 4th knight out of the game. So really anything can happen here. White and black can close these pawn chains, get the dark square bishop in the game, the light square bishop in the game. Add some defense here and here. So it's really looking almost symmetrical, except, white is going for f4 instead of g5. So get the queen out, and white is basically saying right away, oh yeah, I'm going to castle queen side. All right, I've cleared this out, because you're not really backing up this bishop here. An attack hasn't really started yet. You're not really reaching a middle game yet. So white is definitely sending that signal, hey, I'm going to the queen side. All right, so immediately Doug strikes in the center. All right, notice we have 3 defenders. So maybe possibly a little early, but let's see what develops of this. All right, so white just castles, says I had this plan to castle, I'm just going to do it. So it completely ignores like, hey, you got a piece hanging here, so let's see what happens. All right, so either Doug didn't want to open this or had the same idea, I just want to get castled. Looking at the timestamps, all right, they're still at 9:35. Doug has 9:35 and 9:38, so they're both moving kind of quick. So maybe just a case of double blindness where they both missed it. All right, even here you could have went for a pawn advance. All right, so capturing the threat right away. So Doug kind of missed out on that. All right, we have recapture. And recapturing with the pawn here. Better might have been here, keeping the pawn intact to where you could end up closing this structure and making this chain. I guess thinking recapturing with the pawn, and then maybe you're attacking another piece. But yeah, I think the bishop would have been a little bit better there. All right, so Doug brings the knight in. All right, getting away from that attack. All right, and also knowing that it comes with an attack on the queen and a double attack on this knight here. You can't capture the knight because then you hang your queen. All right, so let's see what happens. All right, moving the queen out of the way and capturing with the knight. More accurate here would have been capturing with the bishop. All right, capture with the bishop. Pawn's defended, knight's defended, and now the bishop. You're gonna lose it anyway. The pawn would end up recapturing. Also with the queen here, you're getting a double attack with the queen and rook kind of x-raying here. But anyway, all right, so we have knight captures and the bishop drops. All right, the problem with allowing this also is that you can't castle kingside. All right, so having that blocked off, and this knight is now also undefended, so you're gonna have to drop the knight back or figure something else out. So let's see what happens. Oh, grabs the rook. So right away, great move. Seeing that, hey, I'm gonna lose my bishop, but I'm gonna grab the rook in the process, and then also potentially, be able to castle, get the queen developed. So let's see what he does. All right, so king captures, and right here, here's a slight miscalculation. So I'm thinking Doug wanted to castle queenside, but you're leaving this pawn hang. Yeah, there's a lot of weaknesses kind of going on here. Maybe something else kind of was in the position. Maybe shore up this pawn here. I don't know. It could have went for a couple different things. All right, so then we're just kicking this bishop out now. Bishop doesn't have a whole lot of squares to go to, and I think that was, the case of blindness on Doug's part, or maybe just looking at, hey, I can make this rook and queen battery and kind of, push this pawn through and bust things open. All right, so loses the bishop. All right, and yep, he's going to try to push that pawn through. And then we also have, all right here, this is getting kind of sketchy. So he brings the king over, so we got some defense. The one thing he has to worry about, though, if this queen moves, let's just say this queen goes wherever, right here. All right, queen goes, I'll just show the move. All right, let's just say white does whatever. Wait, why is it not letting me move anything? Oh, I'm not in an analysis, that's why. Sorry about that. I'm not in an analysis, I'm just doing a game review. I could take it over to analysis real quick. That's all right. Basically, what I was just going to get at, if the queen comes here, then you have a potential attack running down right here. And the problem is white doesn't have this bishop developed. You could come here, so queen would come here and then mate, but this bishop needs to be on this diagonal. But anyway, that was my long convoluted explanation of a potential mating attack that black has to worry about. So anyway, we have a horrible strike in the center. Basically just saying, hey, I want to get this bishop in the game somehow, but I'm going to let you capture here and get a check and start destroying my position. So that's what happens. All right, we got a check. King moves out of the way, and let's see what happens next. Okay, trying to bust things open here a little bit further. I'm wondering if there's something a little more accurate. Maybe bringing the queen in here for check, and then you already have the rook cutting this off, so we'd have to go king here. Yeah, and then it starts getting really sketchy. But we have pawn captures right there. All right, and I think there's some nasty attacks here. What if queen check, king here? Maybe it's a little early. All right, maybe at least start pushing things around. but it does look kind of sketchy getting your queen down here, and then you have these bishops slicing all kind of diagonals, and queen here. So maybe he didn't want to throw his queen in the fray. All right, so we've got this pawn advance, maybe looking to bust things open over there, and so a case of blindness on the attack over here. All right, white comes in. And his only good move is to come here. If he brings his king out of this check by coming here, then you have a nasty discovered attack he could find. But unfortunately for black, there's no good discoveries on this diagonal for the bishop to get to. I mean, okay, you could win a pawn, come there and check. So yeah, it's not too nasty right now. White's got their own threats to worry about. So he moves the king out of the way. Pawn captures, and then now he comes in for this check. So let's see where he goes. King comes to f2, and queen over with check. And here's the beginning of the end. Look at this structure right here. This bishop luckily covers this diagonal. If this bishop wasn't here, this would be mate. All right. Just because you're stuck, this king's got nowhere to go. It's kind of entombed itself right here. All right, here's his little casket. So this essentially, this rook doesn't exist. This rook will not be getting into the game. All right, we have a pawn captures there. I think something maybe a little bit more aggressive would have been good. Like that, this pawn isn't exactly saving the world, but or lighting the world on fire, you should say. And now here's where white goes on the attack, looking to just bust things over here, kind of like a spray and pray mentality. Knows the end is near, closing in, and then we have this check. All right, check on the back rank. Bishop has to block, and now here anything wins. All right, you have rook come here for mate, queen come here for mate. Let's see what happens. All right, so rook captures, and that is mate. So Doug, once again, your gameplay has improved drastically. It's awesome to see somebody like coming up the ranks and moving their rating up. And I know how good it feels to go up even 50 rating points in any given time control. But I think over the past 2 days he's jumped like 300 points. So awesome, keep it up. We'll definitely work on more principles. So if you look below, I put some of the things we went over, just so anybody watching, you can help your own games if that helps you. The control, defend, and attack the center. All right, that's in your opening, getting into the middle game. You want to try to control that with moves like e4, c4, as black, e5, d5. Then you bring your knights to their natural squares, knight f3, knight c6. Get them to their natural squares, bishop to the natural squares, then develop. All right, I can't say that enough. Stop trying to go, you have one piece out, you have a knight out, and then you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna attack the king. I'm gonna go knight g5 and sacrifice it on f7, and then, oh, my attack's over, and black is developed, and I have no pieces out now because I just sacrificed it for no reason. So develop your pieces. It's a lot easier to go onto an attack when you have all your pieces into the game. It's often better for your opponent to start the trades. Let's get into an analysis. I'll just show some real quick examples of all of this. All right, so, oops, not that. All right, so we'll just get into Roy Lopez. And the last little thing there, sometimes it's okay to have your pieces get kicked. It draws weaknesses. So let's get into Roy Lopez's position. This is one that Doug said it really kind of stuck with him, that you have your piece developed right here, and he was like, oh, you told me to not give your opponent tempo or time. So when they play this a6 or any other time where your piece gets kicked, all right, now I'm just wasting moves. All right, but you're drawing weaknesses here, because now look at this pawn. This pawn's weak. All right, you have your bishop eyeing f7, which is a critical square to get attacked a lot with checkmate patterns. So it's okay, and it's your opponent letting you develop further. All right, you're getting your bishop to a better square. Yeah, it's no longer eyeing the knight, but that's okay because now we're in a position you can castle, you can get things to their natural squares, develop. All right, and black's going to look at the same thing. So there's a lot of times you can provoke weaknesses, like for example, let's say castles, and then you'll get the same thing on this side. All right, then you're looking at this. You're looking at saying, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to capture my knight, get my queen developed, I'm attacking f7, or you're going to back up? All right, let's say black backs up. This is provoking weaknesses. All right, so this is not good. Now you're weakening all the pawns in front of your king, stuff like that. So this is a lot of stuff me and Doug went over, trying to instill these like little principles and whatever. But hopefully you got something out of it. Once again, Doug, great job, and see you guys next time.